I'm 24 years old. I made more than $1.4 million, and in a single month, I cleared more than $220,000. But making money isn't the hard part. Anyone can grind their way to a few successful months, but here's the truth that most men will never accept. The reason I was able to hit 1.4 million wasn't because of how much I cared, but how little I cared. You see, I stopped obsessing over the outcomes. I detached completely, and that's where the money started pouring in. And it sounds insane, but this is the power of detachment. The less you cling, the more you attract, and the less you care, the richer you become. Now, if you're new to my channel, this is my book of agreements. This is a mini Bible of all the seeds I've sown and the success I've generated. And I want to read to you over the next minute my 77th agreement, because this sums up the law of detachment perfectly. And this is called choose your desires wisely. This is arguably one of the most powerful truths you can embody as a man. Everything in this reality exists on an infinite spectrum, with each potential outcome accompanied by its respective equal and opposite counterpart. Love does not exist without heartbreak, nor riches without poverty. The mistake that most men make is they make decisions based off of their desired outcomes while failing to recognize they are simultaneously opening up a door to said desire's counterpart. Think of the aforementioned infinite spectrum. It's a horizontal line, and the center of this line lies a dot that represents the average man. The further a man travels along the right of the line, the greater the desire. But understanding polarity means this man must also know that his exceptional desire has an equal and opposite counterpart. And this exists on the other end of the line, just as far away from the average dot. And this is the exceptionalism paradox. It's a fundamental truth that by nature, exceptionalism is a state of indifference or a state of difference, where you exist in a way that others do not. And thus it would be illogical to chase monumental goals without simultaneously accepting the fact that you will undeniably experience pain, challenges, and setbacks that match the scale of your goals. But understanding this is not enough. You see, as a man, you must also understand the three-dimensional nature of all that exists in this reality. To the naked eye, desire appears to be an entirely positive form. When you think of love, you envisage romance, you envisage companionship, you envisage support and connection, all that's positive. But what very few men fail to conceptualize is that the moment you fall in love with something or someone, you also sign a contract of inevitable pain. If you're not prepared to lose that thing or that person, because one day you will, you should never seek its attainment. You see, starting a business is another prime example, and arguably one of the most rewarding things a man can do. But if you are not willing to accept the possibility of losing everything, of parting with your business at death, then you're going to be far better off playing it safe. And the key to this is detachment. For the greater your attachment to a desire and outcome, the more power you assign to its equal and opposite counterpart. Thus, you must never fully commit to the procurement of a desire until you can also commit to its equal and opposite counterpart. This is precisely why you must choose your desires wisely. Now, this is a very abstract concept, like a lot of the things that we speak about on this channel. And this sums up the law of detachment perfectly. And I want to use a beautiful analogy, a beautiful metaphor. You're standing in a river. It's crystal clear, the water's blue, the sun's shining, you can hear the birds chirping, the sun's on your skin, you can feel the wind, everything's perfect. And as you stand in this river, the water's up to the middle of your legs, it's up to your shins, just below your knees, and you feel it gushing through the river, on your legs, it's wetting your legs and the hairs on your legs. And you want to capture some of this water, you're thirsty, you want to drink some of this water because it's so clear, it's so crystal clear, it's beautiful water, it's cool, it's not too warm, but it's not too cold. And you want to drink this water because the sun's quenching you want to quench your thirst. And so you have two options. There's the man who doesn't understand the law of detachment. And what does this man do? He's craving this water. There's a strong desire for this water. And so he puts his hands down, he bends his knees, he gets down low into this river and he starts squeezing the water. He's trying to capture it. He doesn't want to let it go. He really wants it. He doesn't want to go without this water. And so he squeezes it as hard as he can. And what does the water do? It flows around his fist. The water that he does capture, it just squeezes out through his knuckles and through his fingers. And all he wants to do is quench his thirst. He just wants to drink this water, but he can't catch it. And this is because he's thinking about the outcome too much. All he can think about is attaining this specific thing. He doesn't want to let the idea of it go. But then you've got the man who understands the law of detachment better than anyone else. And this man, he understands that the harder you pull, the tighter you squeeze, the stronger the desire for something, the more you're pushing it away. And so he creates an open, loose cup with his hands. He's not trying to trap the water. He's allowing the water to flow in its natural state. And he's getting in the way. And he creates a little cup. His hands are loose, they're open. And he creates a cup in this riverbed, and the water flows into his hands. And he's got a little bowl this crystal clear, beautifully cool water, and he starts drinking it. And he does it again, and he drinks it, and he quenches his thirst. Now, this is a very, very abstract example, and I understand that it's almost like a fable from the Bible. But you can picture it. You can see yourself in that riverbed, and you'll fundamentally understand the tighter you squeeze, the less water you're going to get. Think about a bird. If you capture a bird, and you don't want to let it go, you love this bird, and you squeeze it as tight as you can so the bird never flies away and you don't lose the thing that you love so much, you're going to kill the bird, you're going to strangle it. But when you create a little cup in your hand and you allow the bird to come to you, it'll sit there and it will stay because it wants to, not because you're forcing it. And this is how success works. You see, the more you obsess over an outcome, over a certain number in your bank account, over a house or a car or an outcome or a goal, the more you're pushing it away, you're strangling it. Because not only are you creating a reality in your mind of something you don't have, and you're creating more distance and dissonance between where you are and where you want to be, but you're pushing it away. You're expelling it. You have this energy of desperation. And all that does is just push. Think about women. You think they're like desperate men or detached men? The men who just seem unfazed. They don't care if she stays or leaves. Of course he cares. But on the outside, he's detached. He just flows. And you can only flow when you're so certain within yourself that you have what it takes to get what you want. And so the secret lies in this very fact. If all of your attention is channeled towards doing the things, the actions, the steps required in order to get to where you need to go, all of a sudden the outcome is it's back of mind. You forget about it. The most money I've ever made, the $227,000 month that Tyson and I had in January, we barely thought about money. All I was thinking about was how can we improve our leadership skills with our team? How can we build better systems? How can we improve our client experience? How can we delegate better? How can we free up more time? And at the end of that month, we sat back and we looked at the income for that month, and we were in shock because we forgot about the concept of money because we were so absorbed by the process. And that's because we had detached. You need to detach yourself from the outcomes and attach yourself wholeheartedly in every inch of your being to the process and the things required. And when I say the process, I'm talking about the specific actions you need to take every day. For me, that's recording this video. For me, that's creating better ads, creating new systems for our clients. When you become at one with the things that are required to get the goal that you want, you just create a detachment between you and the goal, and then it inevitably manifests into reality. And so I want to leave you with this. The tighter you squeeze and the harder you pull, the further away that desire is pushed from your very being. It's like a rope and it's got blades on it. And you really want to pull this rope into you, but the harder you squeeze it and the tighter you pull it, the blades slice your hands. And when you're able to detach and you just loosely hold the rope, and you put your fingers around the blades and you just pull it gently, it comes in and you don't harm yourself. And so the stronger attachment you have to something, the more pertinent the desire for it, the more you crave it, the more harm you're doing to yourself because you're operating from a place of lack and scarcity, and all that does is put you into fight or flight mode and you never achieve what you want to achieve. So set goals, make them important, make them inspiring, but understand that wanting them more and craving them more isn't going to bring them in. The only thing that will bring them in is doing the thing. And so detach from the outcome, because when you can detach, it comes to you. Just like a river flowing, just like a bird coming to the garden in your hands, the tighter you squeeze, it's going to die.